This is when victims recorded their killers. On February 13, 2017, at approximately 2:30 p.m., 14-year-old Liberty German started recording on her phone, unknowingly capturing what would become one of the most crucial pieces of evidence in modern criminal history. What she recorded in those final moments would remain a mystery for over 5 years, haunting investigators in a small Indiana town until it finally led them to the most unlikely suspect. February 13, 2017, started as an ordinary day in Delphi, Indiana. With schools closed for a snow day, 14-year-old Liberty Libby German and 13-year-old Abigail Abby Williams decided to spend their unexpected free day hiking the popular Monon High Bridge Trail. The historic railroad bridge, standing 63 feet above Deer Creek, was a favorite spot for local teens, despite its deteriorating condition. As the girls made their way toward the abandoned railway bridge, Libby pulled out her phone to document their adventure. What started as innocent teenage fun would soon turn into something far more sinister.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Those would be among Liberty German's final recorded words, but her phone kept recording, and what it captured next would haunt investigators for years. As the girls crossed the dangerous bridge, a figure appeared behind them, a man in dark clothing, walking with purpose. In the footage, you can hear his voice giving a chilling command that would echo through the investigation. "Guys, down the hill." Then, silence. When the girls failed to return home that evening, panic set in immediately. This wasn't like them. Libby's sister had been expecting a pickup call that never came. By nightfall, search parties were combing the woods around the Monon High Bridge Trail, flashlights cutting through the darkness as volunteers and law enforcement desperately looked for any sign of the missing teenagers. The next morning brought the discovery that would shatter the quiet community of Delphi forever. The bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams were found in a wooded area approximately half a mile from the bridge, positioned deliberately and covered with sticks. Both girls had suffered fatal injuries, and the scene showed clear signs that this was no random act of violence. But investigators found something else that day, something that wouldn't reveal its true significance for over 5 years. An unspent .40 caliber bullet was discovered at the scene, just inches from one of the victims. At the time, it seemed like just another piece of evidence. They had no idea it would eventually become the key to solving the entire case. In the days following the murders, investigators released Libby's video and audio to the public. The image of Bridge Guy and his distinctive voice saying "down the hill" generated thousands of tips from across the country. Among those who came forward was a man who seemed to want to help, a local CVS pharmacy technician named Richard Allen. Allen contacted police just days after the murders, explaining that he had been on the trail that afternoon and wanted to provide any information that might be useful. When investigators interviewed him, he seemed cooperative and willing to talk about his presence at the scene.
So, the reason we wanted to talk to you is about the Abby case, and appreciate your time in doing that. And as a formality, before we talk to anybody about these things, I want to make sure you understand you aren't under arrest or anything like that, okay? And the door here is open. You can leave anytime you want. I'd be glad to give you a ride back or whatever. So, but we need to make sure that we go cover a formality here, and I'm going to get to the page here with this is a Miranda warning. So before we ask any questions, you need to understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask any questions and have it with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, we'll be appointed for you for any question if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering any time. You also have the right to stop answering any time you talk to a lawyer. Okay. Now, Tony brought up something that you had done when initially you had talked to Lieutenant Doolin, and according to Lieutenant Doolin, the information he got to you was that you were on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. Does it make any sense? Okay. And that you had parked at the old Farm Bureau building. I think that may have been the old welfare office out there. Well, While at the Freedom Bridge, he saw 3 females and noted that one was taller and had black or brown long hair. This is basically what he had written down.
Allen had placed himself at the exact location during the exact time frame when the girls were murdered. He admitted to walking on the bridge, described seeing 3 girls leaving the area, and even provided details about where he parked. But something about his behavior and cooperation convinced investigators he was just a helpful witness. They noted his information and moved on to other leads. It would prove to be one of the biggest mistakes in the investigation. For over 5 years, the case remained cold. The image of Bridge Guy haunted the community, appearing on billboards and wanted posters throughout Indiana. Every year on the anniversary, families held vigils, hoping someone would finally come forward with the information needed to bring the killer to justice. Richard Allen continued his quiet life in Delphi, working at the local CVS, living with his wife just minutes from where the murders occurred. Neighbors described him as unremarkable, a quiet, helpful man who went to work every day and kept to himself. No one suspected that the killer they were all looking for might be hiding in plain sight. But in September 2022, everything changed. A worker scanning and saving old tips on a computer made a discovery that would crack the case wide open. While reviewing the thousands of pieces of information collected during the investigation, she noticed something that had been overlooked for over 5 years. Richard Allen had placed himself at the crime scene during the exact time frame of the murders, and somehow he had never been properly investigated. This revelation sent shockwaves through the investigation team. How had they missed this? A man had voluntarily admitted to being on the bridge when the girls were killed, and they had simply filed his statement away and forgotten about it. Investigators immediately began looking into Allen more closely. They obtained a search warrant for his home on October 13th, 2022, and what they found would change everything. Among Allen's possessions was a Sig Sauer .40 caliber pistol that he had owned since 2001. The unspent bullet found at the crime scene was sent for comparison. The results were shocking. It was a perfect match. The extraction marks on the bullet were as unique as fingerprints, and they pointed directly to Richard Allen's gun. On October 31st, 2022, Richard Allen was arrested for the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. When Allen was brought in for questioning after his arrest, the atmosphere was completely different from his first interview 5 years earlier. This time, investigators weren't looking for information. They had evidence, and they wanted answers. The interrogation began with Allen clearly confused about why he was there, but investigators had a card to play that would shake him to his core.
Handguns, as you know probably, you may know more about them than I do, I don't know a lot, but they're very specific as far as the characteristics of the gun. So the firing pin is different from your firing pin, the extraction device is different from my extraction device, and they're basically what the lab has told me is that they're like fingerprints. They're specific to that gun and that gun only. Okay. So we took your gun, your 40 cal SIG, and we sent it down there to the lab to have it matched with an item that we located on February the 14th when we found the girls.
Okay.
And that item was a 40 caliber Winchester round. We found that at the scene.
Okay.
The extraction marks on that round match your gun.
Perfect.
So,
This is, okay.
just hear me out, I'm just trying
I
to.
am.
So, this is the round, okay? Those are the extraction marks. That's the best picture of them. There's actually 3 of them. That's the same round that we found, okay? And like I said, the methodology that they use is scientific, and they're telling me, and this is the report, you can read it if you wish.
I don't need to read it.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to help you. You know, let me tell you something.
Okay.
You know, the prosecutor and the other investigators, they want to see you lock you up, throw away the key. I don't think you're
ridiculous.
Just listen to me for 2 minutes. Let me explain this to you. I'm on your side.
The detective's revelation hit Allen very hard. The scientific evidence was undeniable. His gun had been at that crime scene. But Allen's response revealed something investigators weren't expecting. Instead of breaking down or confessing, Allen became more rebellious. His confusion seemed genuine, and his denials grew more emphatic as the evidence mounted against him.
Listen to me, Rick. I don't believe you should be the fall guy. But all the evidence, you say you're out there, we have witnesses out there, we have your vehicle, we have experts. We have experts that say that's you on the video and that's your voice on the video.
Okay.
Experts, not me, because I'm not an expert.
I got you.
Okay, and now we have your round at the scene.
Okay.
Not on the bridge, you said you're on the bridge.
I don't even know how my bullet would have gotten out there if that's my bullet.
It's without a doubt that this is very
Okay.
scientific. So let me show you a picture of this round, where it was found. That's the round right there. It hadn't been out there very long. That is Liberty's foot. It's within 6 inches of one of the dead girls' bodies.
There's no way.
There is.
I'm telling you, there's not.
How did that round get there, Rick?
I don't know how the round got there. What I'm telling you is, if that is truly what you're saying it is, it's not my round.
The crime scene photo was devastating. There was Allen's bullet just inches from Liberty German's foot. The detective pressed harder.
The scientific experts are saying, I got a report saying that round came from your gun.
Okay, but understand this.
You were on the bridge.
I told you I was on the bridge.
Listen, right now, like I said, I got a prosecutor and investigators ready to lock
Okay.
you up. And if you don't give us a narrative, if you don't tell us your side of the story, there's 2 sides to every story. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you.
I get that.
The media is going to portray you as this
I know.
monster, and you don't want your wife
And it's
your
already
daughter
going to
with
get
you.
there anyway, so.
Yeah. So this is your chance to tell us exactly what happened.
Unlike some people, most people, I care what people think about me, and
And you do.
you've
agree.
already set that ball rolling.
Yeah, but there's only one way to get out in front of it, and that's to tell the truth. What happened that day?
I can't tell you what happened that day.
You can tell us.
How?
There's no doubt in my mind that the evidence clearly indicates that you're involved in this. Are you the mastermind behind this? I don't know.
Mastermind, okay.
Did somebody else set this up? I don't know, Rick. I want to know, and only you know. The truth will set you free. That's it.
Yeah.
The truth will protect you from the.
Well, that's
media.
what I would have thought.
Well, tell the truth. Tell me how this round got next to one of our girls, in between both girls.
I don't know.
You do know. And if you don't tell me, you're going down for this.
No? Okay.
I'm serious. This isn't a joking matter.
I'm not joking.
You're this
Do you
close.
realize what you've done to me?
Allen was caught in an impossible situation. The evidence was scientifically sound. The bullet match was undeniable, yet he continued to maintain his innocence. But his emotional response revealed the true impact of what was happening to him. As the interrogation continued, Allen's facade began to crack, not into a confession, but into raw emotion about what the investigation had already cost him.
This is like, you've talked to the people I work with, you've talked to my neighbors, you know, I've got anxiety, I got all kinds of stress and depression, and one of the big things is you can not even think something about me, but if I think you think something about me, it bothers me. And that's already done, because people out there already know that you think I did something,
I don't think.
and I didn't. Okay.
Rick, I don't think that. The evidence clearly indicates you're involved.
Right.
So if you were in my seat and I had you saying you're out there, witnesses saying you're out there at the same time with the girls, and now after a search warrant of your house, we find a gun, your gun. Have you owned that gun, right?
I do.
When did you buy it?
Oh my gosh. I don't even remember. I mean, it was-
2001. I'll check
Okay.
for you. I know a lot of the answers to the questions I'm going to ask you, but I'm just trying to give you the opportunity to be honest.
The psychological pressure was immense. Allen wasn't just facing murder charges. He was facing the complete destruction of his life and reputation in the small town where he'd lived for decades. Everyone he worked with, every neighbor, everyone he'd ever known, would now see him as a suspected killer. But the evidence kept mounting. The detective wasn't finished. He had one more card to play: the absolute certainty of the scientific evidence that linked Allen's gun to the crime scene.
You and I both know I'm not a scientist, and you're not a scientist. But what the scientists are telling me is this extraction mark is like a fingerprint. It's unique to the gun. I told you that earlier. You understand that. It's not unique to that type of gun. It's unique to that specific gun. Just like your fingerprint. If I have a fingerprint, my fingerprint, your fingerprint, and I got a fingerprint at the scene, we match that fingerprint, it's significant to one person. No
Okay.
fingerprints are alike.
And what I'm telling you is there is no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene.
And we've been working on this for over 5.5 years. We get a search warrant for your house, find your gun, because we were told when we found that round that had 3 extraction marks on it. And without a doubt, they would be able to match that extraction mark to the gun. Not type of gun, the gun. We've taken multiple guns down there, and they have not matched to those extraction marks. Your gun does, 100% without a doubt. It's in this certificate of analysis. The scientists say that the marks on that gun are match your gun.
And I'm telling you, it didn't happen. I didn't shoot anybody. I've never even pointed a gun at anybody.
I'm not saying you shot anybody. I'm saying a fully intact round from your gun is on.
And I'm telling you, that's not possible.
It is.
It's not.
How's it not?
Because I wasn't there.
You were there. You said you were there.
I told you I was on the trail. I didn't tell you I was at a murder site.
The scientific explanation was devastating in its simplicity. Just like fingerprints, the extraction marks were unique to Allen's specific firearm. No other gun could have created that particular pattern of marks on the bullet found at the scene. Yet Allen continued to deny any involvement. As hours passed, both Allen and the detective grew increasingly frustrated. Allen couldn't explain the evidence, and the detective couldn't understand how Allen could continue to deny what seemed impossible to refute.
Years, but back then, that was in 2017, okay? And the question is this you? No. Okay. So you're telling me that this person was out there on the bridge and wore the same clothing that you have on that day, but you didn't see them?
You can't tell that a black Carhartt coat, a blue Carhartt coat, a pullover. I told you I could have been wearing this.
The two kinds of clothing you said you wore that day was either a black Carhartt coat or a blue Carhartt coat. Okay, you said you had blue jeans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've had jackets.
Okay, so put yourself in my chair.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not going to tell you I wasn't wearing a black Carhartt that day. I told you I could have been. I don't know if that's a black Carhartt. And if it is, it's not mine, it's his.
And you said you have a hat. You normally wear a skull cap that's covered.
I said I carry one. So if I was wearing one, it would be like a skull cap or a smaller type of hat or something.
Okay. So this is the situation we're at, okay? Basically this. Either you were out there to do this to the girls, or you were out there to be able to introduce the girls to somebody else.
Okay. Good luck finding anything that points in that direction. I mean, it's not me. You're not going to make me believe it's me. You're not going to find anything that ties me to those murders, so I'm not really that concerned. You know, you went from...
Allen's confidence was striking. Despite very strong evidence, he seemed genuinely convinced that nothing would tie him to the actual murders. It was as if he believed the bullet evidence was somehow fabricated or planted. While awaiting trial, Richard Allen was held in solitary confinement, and his behavior began to change dramatically. According to prosecutors, he started making statements that would ultimately seal his fate, confessing to the murders over 60 times to various people, including corrections officers, inmates, his psychologist, and even his own family. The most revealing conversations came during his conversation with his wife, where Allen's mental state and his struggle with the evidence against him became apparent.
They're trying to tell me that you actually believe that I did it. And I just can't believe that.
Trying to figure out why there's a bullet out there.
I know. Do you think I'm not? And that's what I told him. I can't explain something I don't understand. I tried to explain to him that there's no way that a bullet from my gun was at a murder scene, because it didn't happen. I didn't even have my gun that day I went out. You know me. You know this isn't something I could do. And I know that you know that. You don't have to tell me that, I know. They really think I did this. And they want me to believe that I know you know I didn't do this. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know what they're trying to do here, but I'm not gonna say something that's not true, and I can't explain something that I don't understand. The only way for me to explain it is that I don't know, because I'm saying it's not possible. There's no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't help somebody murder anybody. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince you. I know you know me. I know you know that I didn't do this. Had anything to do with it. Talk about scheming or something.
Yeah, I don't. Don't know how did a bullet from your gun get out there?
I don't know, huh?
Because they said it came from our gun.
I know that's what they believe me, that's what they're telling me.
But how did it get there?
I don't know.
This conversation revealed Alan's continued confusion and denial, even with his wife. But it also showed something else. His acknowledgement that he couldn't explain the evidence, combined with his insistence that he didn't have his gun that day.
They said there was one in your box above your dresser to match it.
They showed me that picture too. I can't explain it. And I don't...
I can't either. They keep asking me and I don't know how to answer that.
You
There's no
answer
way for me to know.
I understand. Me either. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. You want to keep asking me and I just keep telling you I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain something that isn't possible. But I know, this is what I do know. I know that no bullet from my gun was connected with a murder in any way, shape, or form. And there's no way a bullet from my gun would have been near Abby and Libby's murder or anything else, because I never even seen those girls. Period. And I didn't even have my gun that day. So that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't know how to make somebody understand. I get what he's saying. I don't have a way to explain it.
And they're like, there's a witness that said it was you out there.
Dear, I don't
And
know
I'm
what...
like, how do they know it was you? And so they said they showed her a picture. And I'm like, of course you were out there.
If they seen me out there, they seen me out there, dear. And I
But
told
were you
them...
on the bridge?
I told them I was on the bridge. I went out to the first trestle.
Oh, okay.
That first
I
thing
don't remember you telling me that. You told me, so I told you you weren't on it, but I didn't.
It doesn't, hon, you're not in any trouble. You didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Tell him, right?
Huh?
I didn't know you were on it. I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry about it.
You told me you weren't.
Huh?
You told me you weren't, so I just was.
No, I told you that I walked.
Okay.
I love you, baby.
Alan's wife seemed to be struggling with the evidence as much as he was. The conversation revealed a man desperately trying to convince both his wife and himself that the scientific evidence was somehow wrong, while simultaneously admitting he had no explanation for how it could be wrong. The interrogation reached its breaking point when the detective's patience finally ran out.
Yes, you do.
There is no way that evidence is going to show that I did this.
Fucking here, Rick.
You got one piece of evidence
I got
that I
multiple
can't explain.
pieces. Multiple. I'm not showing you my whole fucking hand here.
I don't care. I'm telling you, I'm done
And
talking.
now you're gonna drag your fucking wife and your daughter through this because you're too fucking bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit that you made a mistake. And whatever the fuck happened out there, we'll never fucking know because you're too big of a fucking. Go ahead.
So tell you I did something
Tell me
that
the
I
truth.
didn't do.
The truth, Rick. I don't want
I've
to know.
told you the truth and you don't want to hear it.
The evidence tells me otherwise. The evidence clearly indicates you're involved in this.
No,
I
it
saw this.
doesn't.
It fucking does.
It doesn't. I'm telling you that there is no way that a bullet from my gun was used in these murders.
And I'm telling you that we had this fucking round on February the
understand.
14th, 2017. It's been secured in the fucking laboratory. And we've tested other guns
I understand what you're saying.
I want her to hear this,
I understand what you're saying. What I'm telling you is, I can't explain something I don't understand.
Oh, the scientists explained it for you. The lab analysts have explained that for you. They're saying that this round, without a doubt, came from your gun.
Then
and
you've taken it from somewhere else then. Because it's not possible.
I did not take it from somewhere else. It was logged in. It was taken as photograph. You think we fucking went and stole your fucking round and threw it down by a fucking dead girl's foot? This ain't fucking TV. This is realistic.
I understand.
We collected that fucking item on February the 14th. We didn't take it from anywhere else but that fucking scene. And we didn't take your gun from anywhere else. We took it from your fucking
I'm telling you, I can't explain something.
And I'm telling you, the fucking analysts explain it. You can't get past this.
Can you please let my wife out?
Absolutely. Come on, Kathy.
I love you, baby. Can I kiss her?
Yeah, kiss her. Do the right thing, Kathy. Tell him to do the right thing.
She knows I will.
Yeah, do the right thing. You're going to put your family through this for no reason.
The detective's explosion revealed the full scope of the evidence against Allen, but Allen's continued denials in the face of overwhelming scientific proof had pushed the seasoned investigator to his breaking point. Following this interrogation, Allen was charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder. During his time in jail awaiting trial, his behavior became increasingly erratic, leading to multiple confessions that would later be used against him at trial. When the case finally went to trial in October 2024, the prosecution presented a compelling case built on 3 pillars: the video evidence captured by Libby German, the ballistic evidence linking Allen's gun to the scene, and Allen's own confessions made while in custody. The defense argued that Allen's confessions were unreliable due to his mental health falling apart in solitary confinement, and that the other evidence was circumstantial. They maintained that Allen was innocent, and that his statements were the product of a psychological breakdown rather than guilt. After 17 days of testimony and 19 hours of deliberation, the jury reached its verdict on November 11, 2024. Richard Allen was found guilty on all 4 counts, 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of felony murder. On December 20, 2024, Special Judge Francis Gull sentenced Allen to 130 years in prison, the maximum sentence allowed. The man who had lived quietly in Delphi for decades, who had even helped customers at the local CVS pharmacy, while families searched for answers about their murdered daughters, would spend the rest of his life behind bars. While Libby German's recording led to justice after years of investigation, the next case shows that sometimes even the clearest evidence of murder doesn't guarantee the justice families desperately seek.
All right, goodbye, Reese.
On December 6, 2021, around 4:30 p.m., Patricia Birmingham began recording on her phone as her husband of over 20 years approached her in their driveway. What she captured in those final seconds would become some of the most chilling evidence ever presented in a Texas courtroom, but the sentence that followed would spark outrage across the country. Patricia lived in an upscale neighborhood in Spring, Texas, with her husband Carrie and their teenage daughter, Olivia. To neighbors, they were the picture of suburban success: a friendly mother, a successful businessman, and a seemingly happy family. But inside their home, a much darker story was unfolding. Family members say Carrie had become controlling, paranoid, and increasingly unstable. He accused Patricia of cheating, allegations her family denies, and which were never backed by evidence. On that December afternoon, with their daughter at school, years of tension finally erupted. The fight started inside and spilled into the driveway. Neighbors heard shouting, but nothing could prepare them for what happened next. Patricia, possibly sensing the danger, began recording. Carrie came outside in a bathrobe, but he wasn't unarmed.
You really want this on video?
I'll pull it. I'm mad enough to just pull it. Okay. All right, goodbye, Reese. I'll see you. You go meet Jesus.
The video shows Carrie pointing a shotgun at Patricia. She holds her phone steady. He fires 3 times, straight into her face. The audio captured every word, every shot. Patricia had unknowingly filmed her own murder. Police arrived to find Patricia's body in the driveway, and Carrie still at the home. With the video as evidence, there was no mystery, no denial. Carrie Birmingham had murdered his wife in cold blood. But in court, his defense team didn't argue innocence. They argued sudden passion. Under Texas law, that can reduce a murder sentence if someone acted in a moment of emotional disturbance. Carrie claimed lady snapped over suspected infidelity. Patricia's daughter, Olivia, took the stand. She spoke about the emotional abuse, the control, the fear. She told the jury, "I lost both my parents that day." Despite the damning video and testimony, the jury sentenced Carrie Birmingham to just 10 years in prison and a $5,000 fine. He'll be eligible for parole in just 5 years. Patricia won't see her daughter grow up, and Carrie, caught on camera committing murder, could walk free before Olivia turns 25. While Carrie Birmingham's victim recorded her own execution in a moment of desperation, the next case reveals something even more chilling. What happens when the killer themselves decides to document their victim's final moments, not as evidence, but as entertainment?
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
On February 24th, 2020, at approximately 11 p.m., in a Winter Park, Florida apartment, Jorge Torres Jr. made a decision that would cost him his life. He climbed into a suitcase during what his girlfriend Sarah Boon claimed was an innocent game of hide-and-seek. What happened next would be captured on Boon's own phone, creating evidence so disturbing that it would take 4 years and 9 different attorneys before she finally faced justice. Sarah Boon and Jorge Torres Jr. had been together for almost 4 years, living in a shared apartment in Winter Park, Florida. Their relationship was rough at best. Both had been arrested multiple times for domestic violence against each other. Torres had been arrested 4 times for attacking Boon, while she had been arrested once for battery by strangulation against him, charges that were later dismissed. On the evening of February 24th, 2020, the couple had been drinking wine and spending what Boon would later describe as a good day together. They had been doing puzzles, creating artwork, and enjoying each other's company. Torres, who weighed only 103 pounds, seemed to be in good spirits. But as the night wore on and the alcohol flowed, they decided to play a game that would end in tragedy. As the evening progressed into late night, Boon and Torres decided to play hide-and-seek, a game they had played before, but never like this. Torres, perhaps encouraged by alcohol or simply wanting to find the perfect hiding spot, made the life-changing choice to climb into a large suitcase in their living room. What happened next was captured in chilling detail on Sarah Boon's cell phone. She recorded not 1, but 2 videos of what followed, and the footage would become some of the most disturbing evidence ever presented in a Florida courtroom.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't fucking breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. 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 Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Cause I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah. I
Fuck
can't
you.
fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
The video is horrifying in its simplicity. Jorge Torres, trapped inside the suitcase, is begging for his life. His voice is desperate, panicked, begging for Sarah to let him out. But instead of helping him, she continues recording. Instead of unzipping the suitcase, she made fun of him. But the first video was only the beginning. There was also a second, even more disturbing recording. But perhaps most damning of all was what Boon said during these recordings, revealed later during her interrogation. The next morning, Boon called 911 to report that she had found Jorge unresponsive. When paramedics and police arrived, she told them a story that seemed almost believable at first. They had been playing hide and seek. Jorge had gotten into the suitcase as a joke. She had zipped him up, and then she went upstairs to bed and fell asleep, forgetting he was still inside. When officers arrived at the scene, they found Boon appearing tense and emotional. The body camera footage from that day captured her initial interactions with law enforcement, showing a woman who seemed genuinely upset about her boyfriend's death.
He was last seen last night, so...
You could get all your guys out of there?
What's that?
You could get everything out of there?
Wrapping up getting info. If you got a clipboard, I'll get you all your names and stuff.
Oh, yes, thank you. Who pronounced?
She did.
Oh, right there.
Okay. Did you call it? What time did you call it?
I got a time for it.
Hello there.
Hi.
You live here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you. We gotta get some information
I
from the
know.
fire department.
The property manager, I don't know if I should go tell him really quick or
We'll
just so he
take
knows
care
what's
of
going
that.
on.
Where is he at?
And you want that way.
Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay?
I had a cigarette lit.
I'll get it for you, okay? Wait 1 second, okay?
I really need something to drink.
Okay, well,
I got my Dr. Pepper on the counter.
okay, we'll take care of you. Give me 1 second.
The body camera footage shows Boon appearing anxious and requesting cigarettes and water, behaviors consistent with someone in shock. Officers were accommodating, trying to keep her calm while they assessed the situation.
Together, we've been doing some artwork together.
You are putting a puzzle together?
Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there.
Okay.
We've been doing art, trying to take the stuff off the wall to make new art put up there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking, we had a bottle of wine last night.
Okay, fine.
So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right?
Okay.
So he gets in the suitcase.
And at some point, you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So
Okay.
he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Mhm.
I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right
He
where
got
it
in
is.
it, right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little
It
joke.
was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep
Where did you fall asleep at?
upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay,
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
okay. And then, ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done
Okay,
with
fine.
Zipper, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
I'll get Lucas eventually.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. Just give us a second, okay?
Somebody else on that call and break and
It's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house.
Thirsty, like, I'm
Here, I want you to sit down because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal
I
with,
need
right? Sit.
May I
I
have some
don't.
water? Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
Boon had called her ex-husband Brian to the scene, and officers had to manage multiple people while securing the crime scene. Boon's continued requests for water and cigarettes showed her growing anxiety as the investigation began.
Wife or current
Yes,
wife?
yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife. We've
Okay.
been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out because this is supposed to be her day. So, her child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it. She drink.
They called back and said she was
There's a bit
still
of a
there,
problem
or she came back.
So
at
I
the
was
post
calling to
office,
find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her
I'll go
at
back.
12:49. which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here. So I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over.
Brian's account revealed that Boon had called him in distress that morning, and he had to convince her to call 911. This timeline would later become important as investigators tried to determine exactly when Jorge died and how long Boon waited before seeking help.
So, you've had a second to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last night, drinking a bottle of wine.
Putting puzzles together, doing artwork.
Doing puzzles, artwork. Okay.
Had a bottle of wine and then decided to play hide and seek. So he
What time was that? Do you remember?
I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30?
Okay.
Well, I went upstairs at least, and I fell asleep, forgetting that he was in the suitcase.
So you guys were playing the hide and go seek?
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, you know, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
Right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little joke?
It was. We both were laughing about it. And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay.
As Boon repeated her story, the details remained consistent. A playful game that went tragically wrong when she fell asleep and forgot Jorge was still trapped. At this point, officers had no reason to doubt her account.
So as a part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and? Okay. Okay.
Can I ask, is George, is he diagnosed with any kind of medical history?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have the occasional bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know. Like,
That was going to be my next question. So you guys don't normally drink? You just drink once in a while, or?
Well, I'm gonna say like, okay, I guess normal drinking is like we will have like a glass of wine or two, like while we're cooking dinner. Sure. Here, and we'll play a board game with him. I mean, all the games are in there. But I mean, it's not like.
A couple of beers a day is fine.
The detectives' questions were organized, establishing Jorge's health background and the couple's drinking habits. Boon appeared cooperative, giving officers permission to search the scene and explaining that their alcohol consumption was moderate.
His family have never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Does
No.
anyone know? Okay.
That's
So
why
no one's gonna know until we will be making that notification. So
they're going
it's
to kill me.
okay.
Do
Well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to kill me. His kids are going to kill me in Philadelphia. They're going to kill me. This was not intentional.
okay.
They're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we leave here. Okay.
And
When we
my
leave.
9-year-old.
Well, he's at school. He's with your husband.
I know. Well,
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said you made arrangements for your 9-year-old to be picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom.
Okay.
All right, we're going to go inside if that's okay.
Yes, please, but can you guys just keep me posted
Of
so
course.
I know what's going on?
Yes,
And don't.
This exchange revealed Boon's immediate concern about how Jorge's family would react to his death. Her reference to being called the blue-eyed white devil suggested racial tensions in their relationship, and her repeated statements that this was not intentional showed she was already thinking defensively about how the death would be perceived.
But I cannot. There's no way I could say how, why.
So just by looking at him, like, why is he purple?
Oh, that's normal when someone passes away. Divinity return.
As soon as the heart stops beating, the blood starts to settle to the lowest points of the body. Then it becomes very dramatic. So that's what's called a public bleed. It happens every day.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that. Like, I'm
look around, you have all these deputies here, so while we're here, nothing's going to happen to you. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more later, but yeah, it's not going to be a surprise.
Real quick, and then, but like, I don't, like, this was totally, like, not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too. Like,
we'll have all the answers. We'll have a lot more answers tomorrow after medical exam looks at it. Like she said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out to the scene. Yeah, his age, no real medical history that we know of. For him to have passed away, we come out.
I know.
Yeah. We come out and do an investigation. Medical examiner's office, we send people out. This is what we do. If he was 75 years old and had a history of heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I just don't know what I don't know what it is.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that his family's gonna want.
I just really want to see my son. Like, I really need to see my son. I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but right. So do I just like sit out here and wait for you guys?
If you would, yes, please.
Is anybody else having to show up, or everybody's here that needs to be here?
My team's here that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're gonna take him. They're gonna take some photos, take him. But that's towards the end of it, and they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them. But we're not ready for them at this point, so we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay. So like I said, I gotta go do some paperwork. They're gonna chat with some people, and then we're gonna come back and talk to you if you're okay with that.
Yes, please.
So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, I need to go and do that. And just gonna go do
so, but do you guys tell his family like today or after tomorrow?
We have to. It's the law.
We have to go make contact.
The detective's explanation of the investigation process seemed to reassure Boon initially, but her repeated emphasis on the death being not intentional suggested she was already anticipating questions about her role in Jorge's death.
Once our investigation is pretty much complete here, once we leave here, we will be going to...
But again, you'll know. I'm not going to just go and do it without you knowing. You'll know. We'll talk to you prior to doing anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but, like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason he passed away?
We tell them what we know at that point.
Yeah.
We tell them the truth.
And that we're going to be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will be at the autopsy in the morning, and hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Yeah. We'll give them their number. They can contact them and get it from them.
But yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that
they're gonna think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I've encouraged him numerous times to go over there and see it.
Boon's fear of Jorge's family reaction was strong, and her explanation of their strained relationship painted a picture of a couple isolated from Jorge's relatives due to what appeared to be racial and cultural tensions. When investigators searched Boon's phone, they found the videos that would change everything. The footage didn't show the playful, accidental death that Boon had described. Instead, it showed a woman who was fully aware that her boyfriend was in mortal danger, and who not only refused to help him, but actively taunted him as he died. The videos were time-stamped, showing that Torres had been trapped for at least 11 minutes between recordings. But the medical examiner would later determine that he could have been in that suitcase for up to several hours, slowly suffocating while Boon slept upstairs. On February 25th, 2020, just one day after Jorge Torres's death, Sarah Boon was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. When detectives brought Boon in for questioning, they were armed with the most damning evidence possible, her own recordings. But rather than confess or show regret, Boon continued to insist that Jorge's death was an accident and that she never intended to harm him.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had two fingers hanging out.
I flipped him over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions and him saying that he can't breathe and you saying
This is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later, it's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now he's obviously still in there. So he didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it. My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
But not intentional.
No, you told me you went upstairs because you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
Stopped here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
And his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
The detective's revelation was devastating. Not only had Boon recorded Jorge's desperate pleas for help, but she had actively taunted him, mocking his inability to breathe. Even worse, the evidence showed she had physically moved the suitcase multiple times, flipping it into different positions while Torres remained trapped inside.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying
It's not malicious.
then what is that?
What does mean to you?
Well,
like if I were to tell my
like he does. Like, I get told everything but a white woman, so
Okay.
my intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows at no point can I see his fingers.
He'll be up here any minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you.
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you think
not able
he's
to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were before.
The video, there's no.
When we first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to recording this?
No. No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny, but you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky.
Even confronted with her own voice mocking a dying man, Boon continued to claim that her actions weren't hurtful. She insisted that she hadn't intended to leave Jorge in the suitcase, despite the videos showing her actively moving the suitcase and taunting him for 11 minutes.
Suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like, I don't...
He's never been locked in a suitcase that he couldn't get out, so...
It's kind of... I thought it was the boy crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan...
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing.
Okay.
And you're the only one saying derogatory comments. Like you're mad.
No. Please don't... I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but, like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to, like, feed me. Like...
No, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know...
Boon's defense became even more disturbing when she claimed that Jorge was crying wolf, that his desperate calls for help for air and his statements that he couldn't breathe were just him being dramatic. She suggested that because he had never been trapped in a suitcase before, she didn't take his distress seriously. As the interrogation continued and the evidence increased against her, Boon began to change her story. She started blaming alcohol for her actions, despite earlier claiming that she wasn't drunk, and had maintained her cleverness throughout the evening.
So if you weren't intoxicated, then why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
If I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm gonna go to sleep. Is that what you all are trying to do, to portray me
We're not trying
as?
to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
I don't want to call it
Everything
fine and dandy.
was fine and dandy.
Explain
You all
to me how.
don't, okay, for me to tell you this, again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mhm.
I don't know, I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you, because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left
I
him there
didn't
to
kill
teach
him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the drinking. I thought it was like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship.
Even when blaming alcohol, Boon couldn't provide a logical explanation for her actions. She continued to insist that her mocking response to Jorge's pleas for help was just how we are with each other, as if taunting someone who couldn't breathe was normal behavior in a relationship.
Oh, what?
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and... Just because you're drunk doesn't mean that you...
You told us times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what you're saying.
We're trying to figure out this
You
video.
explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was... My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to... He'll be up here any minute.
But you willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase.
So why didn't you take him out?
Because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think, he's asking to come out, he can't
I didn't do it
breathe.
intentionally.
What do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not giving it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the suitcase.
What was your plan?
Waiting for him to come upstairs.
Confronted with the impossibility of forgetting such significant actions, Boon tried to claim that alcohol had damaged her memory of making the videos, despite previously insisting she maintained her wits throughout the evening. Despite hours of interrogation and overwhelming evidence, Sarah Boon never formally confessed to murdering Jorge Torres. Instead, she maintained that his death was an accident caused by her drinking and falling asleep. But her own words during the interrogation revealed the truth.
You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, F you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not
It happened.
intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a thing. It's alcohol.
So
Not, again,
the reason that you killed him?
You all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen. I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention...
I don't know what it is I need to
punish
do
him?
or how to do it or what to say or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows. Everything that I've done for George and love him and continuously helped him throughout his life with me and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm gonna snap? Is that what it, while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes. Absolutely. I got you on video screaming, F you.
This is what it feels like when you're choking me. This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago. You said
The video was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that,
yet.
yeah.
There's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it.
But I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But you
But
did.
that's after being playful
But no one's
and
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's having a good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
While Boon never said, "I killed Jorge," her admissions were clear. She acknowledged leaving him in the suitcase when he was begging to be let out. She acknowledged going upstairs while he was trapped. And she acknowledged that her actions led to his death. Her only defense was that she didn't do it intentionally.
I promise you, on my son's life, it was not intentional. I promise you, on Lucas's life, it was not intentional.
I don't know you. I can't say I know anything about you. I don't know what would be a true statement, what would not. I mean, if you're promising on your son's life, that's fine.
That's how much it means.
Sorry.
That's how much it, look, that's how much it means.
Okay.
I hope you take that to heart. Please.
And it's documented that you said that, yeah. I get it.
I hope you all can really both truly understand that that was not my intent. I miss him a lot.
In her most emotional moment, Boon swore on her son's life that Jorge's death wasn't intentional, but she could never explain why she had taunted him, moved the suitcase, or ignored his pleas for help. After her arrest, Sarah Boon's case became infamous, not just for the horrific nature of the crime, but for her behavior during the legal proceedings. She went through 8 different attorneys, with 7 court-appointed lawyers, withdrawing from her case due to conflicts with her behavior. Judge Michael Kranick eventually ruled that Boon had forfeited her right to court-appointed counsel due to her treatment of her attorneys. She was forced to represent herself briefly before finding a 9th attorney, James Owens, who agreed to take her case. Boon also rejected a plea deal that would have sentenced her to 15 years for manslaughter, a decision that would prove costly when she was eventually convicted of murder. When the case finally went to trial in October 2024, Boon's defense was focused on claiming she was a spouse who had been hurt by their partner and had acted out of fear and trauma from years of abuse by Jorge Torres. She testified for 5 hours about alleged physical and sexual assault, claiming that Jorge had kicked, punched, spit on, and choked her throughout their relationship. But the prosecution had the most powerful evidence possible, Boon's own videos showing her laughing and taunting Jorge as he died. The footage directly contradicted any claim that she was acting out of fear or self-defense. On October 25, 2024, after less than 2 hours of deliberation, the jury found Sarah Boon guilty of second-degree murder, and on December 2, 2024, Judge Michael Kranick sentenced Boon to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Sarah Boon's own recordings sealed her fate, but in the next case, it wasn't just what he filmed that exposed the killer. It was how he reacted when the cameras were rolling.
So you can sit there with that dumb look on your face, but it's over.
On June 26, 2011, at approximately 4:30 a.m., in Macon, Georgia, Steven McDaniel made a decision that would expose him as one of the most disturbing killers caught on camera. Unlike our previous cases where victims recorded their attackers, this time it would be the killer's own recordings and his chilling behavior in front of news cameras that would ultimately lead to his downfall. Steven McDaniel was a 26-year-old law student at Mercer University who appeared to be the ideal student on the surface. He had worked at the local district attorney's office as an intern on the prosecution side, was preparing for his bar exam, and maintained good relationships with his professors and classmates. But beneath this, behind the perfect appearance, was a dangerous person who had been stalking his neighbor and fellow law student for months. Lauren Giddings was everything McDaniel was not: popular, outgoing, and genuinely liked by everyone who knew her. The 27-year-old, wanting to be a defense attorney, had just graduated from Mercer Law School and was preparing for her bar exam when she caught the attention of her neighbor in ways she never could have imagined. McDaniel had been obsessed with Lauren for months, using a camera attached to a 6-foot wooden stick to spy on her through her apartment windows. His computer would later reveal the extent of his disturbing fixation. Videos of Lauren taken without her consent, violent web searches about cutting up a body and assault, and posts expressing hatred toward women. In the early morning hours of June 26, 2011, McDaniel put his deadly plan into action. Armed with a stolen master key that gave him access to any apartment in their complex, he entered Lauren's apartment while she slept. Wearing a mask and gloves, he approached her bed with the intention of carrying out his dark fantasies. When Lauren woke up and recognized him, she reportedly said, "Steven, please stop." Those would be her final words. McDaniel strangled her to death with his bare hands, then fled back to his own apartment to plan his next horrific act. The following day, McDaniel returned to Lauren's apartment to cover his tracks. In a scene of unimaginable brutality, he dismembered her body in her own bathtub using a tool used to cut metal or wood that he had purchased. He disposed of most of her remains, her head, arms, and legs, in a dumpster on the Mercer University campus. Her torso, wrapped in plastic, was placed in a trash can outside their apartment complex. What makes the McDaniel case unique is how he tried to insert himself into the investigation while the entire community was searching for Lauren. On June 29, 2011, McDaniel actually joined the search party looking for his victim, all while knowing exactly where her remains were located.
I was living there?
Yeah, Lauren was my neighbor. We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
Did you see her hang out with anyone at the time, anything like that?
I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I've always heard noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much.
And she just recently graduated from Mercer?
Yeah, she and I we were both JD students. We graduated back in May.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you see?
I mean, she's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know any enemies she might have had, somebody that might want to hurt her?
No, we don't know where she is. I mean, the only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her. Because we went over. One of her friends had a key. We went inside and tried to see if there was anything amiss, but she had a door jamb that was sitting right by it, so there was no sign that anyone broke in. The door was locked when everyone got here. We just don't know where she is.
But it was his performance in front of news cameras that would ultimately expose him as a killer. McDaniel's performance was calculated and convincing. He painted himself as a concerned neighbor and friend, someone who was actively helping in the search effort. He even provided what seemed like logical theories about what might have happened to Lauren, that she might have been snatched while out running. But then came the moment that would change everything.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there? I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
In that moment, Steven McDaniel's world collapsed. He was informed while being filmed on live television that Lauren's body had been discovered. The shock, panic, and realization that his crime had been uncovered were written all over his face. His legs gave out, his calmness crumbled, and millions of viewers witnessed a killer's mask fall apart in real time. McDaniel's reaction during the news interview immediately made him a person of interest, but investigators needed evidence to build a case. What they found in his apartment was beyond disturbing. A search of McDaniel's residence revealed Lauren's underwear hidden in his sock drawer, complete with her DNA, the master key he had used to enter her apartment, a bloody sheet that matched blood evidence from the crime scene, packaging for the tool used to dismember Lauren's body, and the hacksaw itself, found in the laundry room, with human flesh and Lauren's blood still on it. But perhaps most damning was what investigators found on McDaniel's computer and camera equipment. McDaniel's electronic devices painted a picture of a man whose obsession with Lauren Giddings had consumed him completely. His computer contained extensive internet searches about Lauren, suggesting months of stalking, videos and photos of Lauren taken without her knowledge using his camera-on-a-stick setup, violent web searches and murder techniques, posts expressing hatred toward women, and pictures and videos dated the morning of Lauren's disappearance. The evidence showed that McDaniel had been planning this crime for a long time. His internet history revealed searches for information about how to dispose of bodies, how to avoid detection, and various methods of killing. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was premeditated murder by a predator who had been stalking his victim for months. When McDaniel was brought in for questioning on June 30th, 2011, investigators encountered something unusual, a suspect who had essentially shut down mentally. The interrogation revealed a man who seemed to be barely present, responding to most questions with a simple, "I don't know."
All right. I just got to ask you a few more questions. Okay. You came down earlier tonight, me and you talked, all right. You don't have any weapons on you, do you? No. That's just you are. What's wrong? You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember, put your hands up here, you remember us talking earlier tonight, right? Yes. You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When we came down here and talked a little bit and then we left?
Yes.
Okay. I need to know about this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay? Was you friends with her?
Yes.
Close friends?
We were good.
I mean, y'all were friends, right? Both of
Yes.
y'all are law students. You're studying to be an attorney, right?
Yes.
What kind of law do you want to go into? Criminal law?
Yes.
Civil? Is that what you want to do for a living?
Yes.
Okay. Are you almost finished?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have too much more to do, right?
No.
All right. Are you going to stay here in Macon?
I don't know.
Did you used to work at the district attorney's office in Macon?
Yes.
Was you on the prosecutor side or the defense side?
Prosecutor.
So you were on our side.
Yes.
Right. You never worked on the other side?
No.
Did you like it when you were down there?
Yes.
Got along with everybody?
Yes.
Okay. And you've lived next to Lauren for a long time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where she's at tonight?
No.
Hmm?
No.
Have you ever seen her with that dress on?
No.
You have no idea where she's at?
No.
Okay. Yes. Oh, okay. My major didn't do that, but okay. All right. All right.
The detective tried to establish basic facts about McDaniel's relationship with Lauren, but even these simple questions seemed to require tremendous effort for McDaniel to answer. His responses were brief, and he often seemed to be staring off into space.
Look, just tell me what happened, brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I need you, I'm asking you for your help. I'm a detective, and I'm asking you for your help. Okay, I'm asking you for help. I need your help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
You don't know if you can help me?
Yes.
I need your help. Help me out. Tell me what to do. Has anybody asked you for help today? I'm asking you as a friend for help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You can't help a friend out?
I don't know what you need.
I need to know where Lauren's at.
I don't know.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Have you ever seen anybody over her house the last couple nights?
No.
Okay. If you knew where she was, would you tell me?
Yes.
What do you think happened to her?
I don't know.
The The detective's frustration was clear as McDaniel continued to claim ignorance about everything related to Lauren's disappearance. This pattern would continue throughout the entire interrogation. No matter what evidence was presented, no matter how logical the questions, McDaniel's response was always the same: I don't know.
Steven, you understand that everything that you're saying here doesn't make any sense at all. None. None. You totally contradict everything that relates to human behavior. We have skills to be able to observe things, to hear things, to see things. There are natural things out there that draw our attention every day. Such as when you're driving down the road and somebody hits the horn, you look around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just a natural reaction. If you're sitting in your living room, you hear the door slam next to you, you automatically think, my neighbor's home. Right? You're telling me that those kind of things don't happen in your life.
You asked if I watched. I didn't watch.
Have you noticed that she's came in and out of her house in the last week or two?
I don't remember.
What do you remember, Steven?
The last time I saw her was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Where at?
She was going out running when I was coming in.
Where were you coming in from?
Bar preparation.
Bar preparation? What's a bar preparation? Oh, you're preparing for the bar exam?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, how y'all doing?
We're just talking. You doesn't seem to remember a whole lot. Everything's yes or no, or I don't remember. A lot of things aren't making any sense. I gotta be honest with you, Steven. Me personally, I don't feel like you're being honest. Okay?
Well, Steven, you said you're just gonna help me out, right? With this investigation, because we needed your help. We're asking you for help, right? That's what we, remember I told you that?
Yes.
And you told me you're gonna help me,
Yes.
right? You're gonna help me find Lauren, right?
Yes.
And I asked for your opinion, your observation of what happened there to her.
Yes.
Right. And what did you tell me?
I thought someone snatched her.
Right.
The detective tried to appeal to basic human nature, that neighbors notice each other, that friends pay attention to each other's comings and goings, but McDaniel continued to deny even the most basic observations that any normal person would make about their neighbors. As the interrogation continued, Detective Patterson began revealing the evidence that had been found in McDaniel's apartment. Each revelation was met with the same response: denial and claims of ignorance.
Today you told an investigator that you were worried about us possibly finding blood in your apartment, didn't you?
I don't remember.
You did. Now why would you be worried about that?
We all looked in Lauren's apartment.
Did you see blood?
No.
Then what would make you think that there was blood taken over there? Nothing would make you think that unless you saw it. Because see, I didn't see no blood. None of the other Lauren's friends saw blood, but I know now that blood was there. And now I believe you saw it. You saw that blood. You know that blood was there. And that's why you're worried about it.
No.
Did you know? Why do you have blood up in the inside of your nose?
I don't know.
You don't know? But you saw that blood. That's the only way that you would be worried about it. Because that's like saying, I'm worried about red roses being under my pillow, but yet I never put them there. That doesn't make any sense. You know, your brain doesn't even think to operate like that unless you knew something was there. Does that make sense? That makes sense to you. You're a smart guy, right?
I don't understand.
You knew that there was blood in that apartment.
No.
Yes, you did, Steven. Yes, you did. There's blood in your apartment, Steven. That's right. There's blood in your apartment. Steven, this is hard, buddy. I know this is hard. And I can tell it's on you. You want to let it go. There's blood in your apartment, Steven. You didn't get it all up. It didn't all come off. You scrubbed and you wiped. But we can tell that. Don't you watch CSI? Yeah, we know it. Steven, why is there blood in your bathroom?
I don't know.
Yes, you do know. Why, Steven?
I don't know.
Has anybody else been in your bathroom?
The police were in there.
Other than the police? Who else has been in there?
No one that I know.
No one. And you recently cleaned your bathroom, didn't you?
No.
How long ago?
I don't remember.
A couple days ago?
No.
Over the weekend?
No.
No, or you don't know?
I don't remember cleaning it.
Do you use drugs?
No.
You ever use acid?
No.
Are you on medication?
No.
You're lying, Steven. I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it. I wanted to be here with you to go through that process because I know you're not a monster, man. I know you're not a bad guy. You're just a hard-working student trying to pass a bar exam, ain't you? You ain't got a lot of support from your family, do you?
Yes.
You do? A lot of people can't say that. And the fact that you do have support from your family should make things easier. Because your family wants to feel like they've raised somebody that tells the truth and is honest, right?
Yes.
Did you hurt that girl, Steven?
No.
Have you ever hurt anyone, Steven?
No.
The detective revealed that McDaniel had worried before it happened about blood being found in his apartment, something an innocent person would never think to be concerned about. The fact that he had mentioned this concern before any blood evidence was publicly known showed his guilty knowledge of the crime.
Beginning of May, end of May?
Middle.
And you hadn't seen her walk in her apartment since?
No.
Did you ever help her carry up groceries and stuff like that?
No.
Never.
No.
You ever help her carry her laundry?
No.
She's never needed your help with anything?
She asked for help with the computer.
You ever offer help with her for anything, carrying stuff for her, anything like that?
Yes.
Like what, Steven?
When she was moving out during the first summer.
What did you do?
She needed help moving stuff to her car.
And you helped her?
Yes.
So you went in and out of her apartment moving stuff?
Yes.
How long did you help her?
A few minutes.
That's it?
Yes.
Do you realize how you're talking right now? Does it not feel weird to you?
No.
Would you say that this is how you talk all the time?
I don't understand.
You're just not expressing yourself at all. Everything's with you is yes, no, I don't remember, I don't understand. You can't help me out with anything. There's nothing you can tell me to help me about this beautiful girl right here, Steven. That was your friend. Nothing. You gonna let things go down like this?
I don't know what you want.
I want the truth, Steven.
I don't know where she is.
Let me ask you this. I truly believe you don't know where she is right now. Where was she yesterday?
I don't know.
Liar. That's right. You're lying. Why are you lying, Steven?
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are lying. How long are you going to continue to do it? She's got a mother and a father and a family out there that is sick over everything. Where's their little girl, Steven?
I don't know.
Steven, you know. Where?
I don't know.
Steven. You're going to look at this right here, this little girl right here, and you're going to say you don't know? I know you know.
I don't know.
Yes, you know. What are you going to say tomorrow when I say we got your hair with the body? What are you going to say to me then? Because you know, like I go like that. Look at my hair. That's how easy it falls out. Look at all that on your head. You don't think nothing fell out? It did. It did, Steven. We just wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it, so you didn't look like a monster at the end. Because you know what? I don't believe that you're a monster, Steven. I believe that you're a good guy. You've been picked on. Girls didn't show you the respect that you deserved. You did something stupid, and I believe you feel bad about it. And that's why you're all freaked out right now. But I'm giving you the opportunity to get right. I'm giving you an opportunity to show everybody you're not a monster, that you feel bad about what happened. Your hair's there, man. Your hair is there. We got your hair with the body. How's that, Steven?
I don't know.
Yes, you do know. Yes, you do know, Steven.
Detective Patterson's revelation about hair evidence was devastating. He demonstrated how easily hair falls out, showing McDaniel that it would be impossible for him to have moved Lauren's body without leaving trace evidence behind. This was the moment when the detective tried to break through McDaniel's wall of denial by appealing to whatever humanity remained in him. As the interrogation neared its end, Detective Patterson made one final attempt to get McDaniel to confess, using increasingly aggressive tactics to try to break through his mental coping strategies.
That's right, buddy. See that? Look at it. See how easy? It happens. And it happened to you. Why, Steven?
I don't understand.
Oh, you understand? You understand exactly what I'm saying. See this stuff right here, your hair? Yeah, it fell out of your head when you was moving the body, Steven. That's right. Do you remember moving the body?
No.
Yes, you do, Steven. Why, man? What happened? Why? Tell me, bud.
I didn't do it.
Yes, you did, Steven. Your hair's with the body. Quit lying. We want you to tell it so that way people understand you're not a monster. Things just, you got out of control. It's a sickness. Why'd you do it, Steven?
I didn't do it.
Steven, why are you going to keep telling that? You hurt that girl.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Steven. You hurt her, man. She was screaming. Screaming, Steven. Why? And I know you feel bad about it. I can see it in your face. What came over you, man? What happened, Steven?
I don't know.
I know you don't know. You couldn't control it, could you?
I didn't do it.
Steven!
Even when confronted with physical evidence and direct accusations, McDaniel maintained his wall of denial. The detective tried everything, appealing to his humanity, suggesting he was sick rather than evil, offering him a chance to explain himself, but McDaniel refused to break.
All right, we're getting ready to go. I just need to discuss a few more things with you. You know, the reason why we're down here is because Lauren's missing, right? Yeah. I just need you to please tell me. Give me I know earlier today you told me you stayed home all weekend, right? In your apartment.
Yes.
And, did anybody see you? Did you talk to anybody over the weekend? Were you on your computer all weekend? Is there anything I can look at that I can say he couldn't be involved because he was on the computer, or he was online on a porn site, or he was online doing college work, or anything that would exclude you as being involved altogether? I mean, did anybody see you this weekend at the house? Did you go out to get a newspaper? Did you wave to a neighbor, or you just locked yourself in all week?
Yes.
Nobody saw you?
No.
I mean, what do you just stay in the house all day?
Yes.
I mean, what do you do all day in the house?
Play video games.
By yourself?
Yes.
You never talk to anybody on the phone or anything?
If they call me.
Well, who calls you? The game's over. I mean, we know what you did to her, so we just want to know if you were going to tell us or not.
I didn't do anything.
Well, that's what you say. But we know different, so you're fucked either way. You're fucked. We already know. And everybody out there, all your friends know that you're down here because of what happened to Lauren. So all those friends that you thought you had are not your friends anymore. Okay, there'll be no more video games. Alright. No. This is the end. Is there anything you want to say?
I didn't do anything.
That's what you say. That's what you say. Stick to your story. Because it's over. We're tired of talking to you. Okay. We know you killed her. We know you put her body in the trash can. Simple as that.
Detective Patterson's final words to McDaniel were both an overview of the facts and a prediction of what McDaniel's life would become. The detective had spent hours trying to get McDaniel to confess, to show some remorse, to explain his actions. But McDaniel's response remained the same until the very end: complete denial in the face of overwhelming evidence. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him and the lengthy interrogation, McDaniel never confessed during his initial questioning in 2011. He maintained his innocence through his arrest, his indictment, and the early stages of his legal proceedings. It wasn't until April 21st, 2014, nearly 3 years after Lauren's murder, that McDaniel finally admitted his guilt. In a shocking turn of events that surprised even his own attorneys, McDaniel accepted a plea deal and provided a detailed confession. In his written statement to the court, McDaniel finally revealed what had happened that night. He admitted to breaking into Lauren's apartment at 4:30 a.m. using the stolen master key. He described how Lauren woke up and recognized him, begging him to stop. He confessed to strangling her to death and then returning the next day to cut her body with a tool before disposing of her remains in multiple locations. McDaniel also expressed remorse for his actions, stating that he was divided in mind during the crime, but that he did not expect forgiveness for what he had done. As part of his plea agreement, McDaniel was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 2041. The plea deal allowed him to avoid the death penalty, which Lauren's family had requested in their desire to avoid a lengthy trial. McDaniel has since filed multiple appeals, claiming ineffective counsel and alleging that his constitutional rights were violated during the investigation. All of his appeals have been denied, and he remains in prison today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, watch this one, and don't forget to subscribe.